And now we have Blue Thunder that has arrived.
So we are replacing this old diffuser on Blue Thunder.
Blue Thunder?
With an F, right? It's Thunder. Blue Thunder. With a new one. And the new one we're actually going to have to cut out because we're doing a dual exhaust on this. So right where this one's all cracked, I'm going to end up cutting the new one apart and making it look like this, as close as I can. And then we have a real diffuser back over there with Speedy. So let me cut this bad boy open. Ooh, looks moving like me a knife.
On our kitchen countertop?
Put on the countertop. We're about to cut this bitch up though.
We have a new diffuser in here from a company called MCO, which is a new company added to our website. Let's have a look at the goodies. What they sent us. It's good. I agree.
You reckon?
Yeah, 50 horsepower, solid.
No?
I'm just kidding.
The silent man? What you doing?
Gotta put the hanger back on it.
You're the one
Try
responsible.
the new European.
Are you the one responsible for this build going completely
Yes.
out of hand?
Yes.
We were going full.
It went from like maybe missile to full out blown out. Everything new in the car. It's gonna be sick. Now I don't wanna sell it anymore. I wanna keep it. We're getting down to the fine details. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be running today, but we're missing one little item that's very important, which is the oil adapter coolant, which is gonna go there so we can put a beefy oil cooler in this thing and then fire it up, see what happens. Look at this beauty. It's gonna be sick. Quad exhaust. Oh yeah, we're missing one axle. We still have that one axle. Whoever took this axle, bring it back. Fucking axle.
All right, so we have this nice fan from Dural. It's about 2,400 CFMs, which is a lot for a single fan. 17 inches almost takes up the whole face of our radiator. As you can see here from the shroud that we're mocking up, pretty much takes up all of the open space that we have. Now this being set up as a puller, you can see our fan motor here protrudes out a little bit past the flat point of it. So we need to space out our shroud thick enough to where this isn't going to make contact with our radiator. So what we're going to do now is just take this, lay it flat, take some measurements for how far away from the ground that is, and then add, about a 1/4 inch just to make sure that this isn't going to touch our radiator and chop up our brand new Multimedia thing. So now we're going to put this together, make it out of cardboard, and then Crickett's going to work his magic and turn it into reality.
What's up, guys? So we are making a shroud for the S54 Blue Thunder project. They gave us one. Where did we get that from, Chris?
That was just one we had in the parts van.
Okay, but it didn't fit. It was that pretty guy right there. So it's too deep, and there's only about 1/2 of an inch clearance between that and where this fan goes. So we had to make one a little bit tighter. So you can tell it's not much, but it's about 1/8 of an inch shorter, which allows it to actually get put in there and not rub up against any of the pulleys. So it's always a plus thing. I gotta do a little bit more shimming, as you can see right there. I gotta grind it down just a little bit because it rubs just a little bit. And we don't like no rubbing unless it's your fenders and your wheels. So the only rubby we like. That's right. Lefty loofy. Righty tighty. And we're gonna work on the exhaust after this.
Yeah. Fabrication stuff.
Fabrication station.
So we got a few things situated now. Got our intake manifold put back on. We had to adjust our mounting point for our power steering reservoir down here on the motor mount because we did swap from the S54 motor mount brackets to the stock E36 brackets because I moved our motor back about another inch. And we really needed it for the fan clearance in the front, seeing as we're running the condenser and all the other stuff we got up here. So that way we can actually run our puller fan as well as our pusher for the condenser. So now we have our AFE intake. We're mocking up. We had to shave a little bit of this off because our strut tower clearance, because the engine bay is a little bit smaller on this car than it is on an E46. So we got that to where it just fits just inside of our strut tower. So now we're going to be modifying the piece that comes here with the AFE intake that's designed for the E46 and trimming it a little bit on the top for the hood clearance. And also the shape of our wheel well here is a little bit different. So we're going to have to cut this out just a little bit to get everything to sit square and actually look halfway decent. And then we can get the rest of the stuff assembled, get our fan wired, and figure the rest out.
Bang, bang, bang. Okay, so we are working on the exhaust for Blue Thunder, and we have a little bit of pipe that we're going to use from the old exhaust on here, and it's literally going to be from here to here.
Yeah, we don't want any of those old welds from that guy.
Yeah, no,
We want
and it's
fresh
still
welds.
stainless. It was done recently, you know, looks recent. It doesn't have any rust or anything on it, so it's in pretty clean shape. But we had to cut this out, and we had to do a little bit of finagling the bagel on these S54 headers, because with the engine mounts that we used, which were
E36 mounts.
E36 mounts for the S54, it pushed it back so far that the header actually was rubbing against the frame rail and wouldn't allow us to put a V-band on it or anything else for that matter. So we had to cut that off, and the factory or the stock headers or whatever you get, whatever it comes from. What kind of headers are these, you know? I don't even know. Yeah,
I think they're Megan Racings.
Megan Racing headers. They come with the flange already on it for bolting it up to your stock exhaust, which we're using V-band. So I had to cut this part off too. And it's a bit tight up in here, and Chris told me it takes a long time to put these things in with the engine mounts and
Yeah,
everything.
it's not a good time at all. You can see everything up in there is a little bit tight, but you can see where he chopped off the little sections there.
Yeah, it's right here. This is what we cut off of it, and we couldn't get a bandsaw in there. Sawzall blade that I had was really dull, which I probably could have made it work, but let's face it, I'm lazy. So I just used a plasma cutter on everything.
It's the go-to option.
Yeah, I mean, stainless steel will dull your blades in like half a cut anyways. So plasma cutter, it took 5 seconds to cut these off. And now we're gonna weld these in. As you can see, we have our Nice V-bands with our reducers that go from go attached to the factory headers, and we're going up to 2.5 inch into fucking 3.
No, that's all 2.5.
2.5. It's all 2.5.
Yeah, it's pretty true 2.5.
So all 2.5, and then we're gonna take and Y it out in the back and do dual exhaust out the back and make custom hangers. And
So we
all
got
that
this
fun.
really awesome diffuser over here that we're gonna incorporate. So we're gonna do dual tips, quad tips out the sides of that diffuser in the back, and it's gonna be beautiful. So he's gonna finish modifying this one that was hitting the frame rail, weld that back onto the header because we got a little bit of space now, and then put our V-bands on and he can start fabbing the rest of it.
Yeah.
Say time lapse.
Time lapse.